Welcome to the Speak with People Facebook community. My name is Jason Raitz. I'm a part of Speak with People, and I'm so glad that you are joining us on this absolutely beautiful day. A couple things. One, I just can't thank you enough for being a part of this Facebook community. We just passed 500 people. 500 people. I mean, that's just phenomenal to me. I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to say. I think probably the best. Just throw up some applause. Yes, and I just figured out how to create those noises. So it's very exciting for me. So number one, thank you so much for being a part of this Facebook group. We want this to be a place where we build community, we curate ideas. And so if there is something happening in your workplace that you would love help on or different thoughts about how you should go about it with your communication, this is the place for that. We're also going to be doing a once a month free webinar, and we'll dive into a different, area each. Now, this first one we're going to do a little differently because we're going to do week 1 and week 2, and we're going to walk through the public speaking pathway together. And this is going to be a level 1, right on the surface level. The level 2, and if you are, we'll talk about this more later, but you're ready to do level 2 and dive under the surface, this would be the Lunch and Learn public speaking skills cohort that starts May 2nd. And so this is 8 weeks. I know 8 weeks seems like a long time. It's every single Tuesday for 8 weeks. It costs $219. And we're going to dive into way under the surface, and we're going to dive into your specific communication. So we'll join online with different leaders from around all different places, and I'll do a teaching for about 30, 35 minutes, and then we'll do Q&A and some feedback. And then by the end of the cohort, everybody will present a 5-minute talk. So you actually have to get together a topic, an idea, kind of work through the clarity box, which we talk about in step 5 of the pathway. And then you get to present, and then you get some constructive feedback. It's not like Simon and Randy and Paula Abdul from way back when, American Idol, in the 90s or the 2000s, whenever that was. But it'll be helpful feedback, and it will really help your communication grow. And even if you don't communicate all the time in front of people, what it will do is when you're communicating one-on-one, it will improve your one-on-one communication. I was watching someone communicate the other day. I was kind of facilitating a conversation, and one person asked the other person questions, and immediately when the question were asked, the receiver of the questions, they started looking around. They started saying, they were like scratching their eye. They were doing all these different kind of things. And the sender was going, okay, is this person okay? That's what happens at times because we're put on the spot. Investing in your communication skills, it really does help you, especially in those one-on-one conversations, because you're able to formulate thoughts quicker. You have more confidence. You realize you do have something to say, and then you're able to look them right in the eye and let them know this is exactly what this was about. So that's what we're happening. At any point, if you have any questions, just put them in the comment section of the Speak with People community group. I'm going to put that in the group right now. Any questions, just post them here. And we'll be able to go. So level 1, this week, next week, we'll go through the 8 steps of the pathway. Level 2, May 2nd, we start this public speaking skills lunch and learn cohort. It goes 8 weeks on Tuesdays. We'll record everything. So if you do miss a week, you'll be able to go into the online portal that we'll send you, and you can access all of that kind of stuff. So here we go. We'll hop right in. Here's what we believe at Speak with People. Healthy communication is oxygen for our relationships and our leadership. If you listen to the podcast, if you follow along in the blog, you know this is absolutely true. Healthy communication is oxygen for your relationships and your leadership. And at the end of the day, as a leader, it's your choice if you're going to choose between healthy communication and unhealthy communication. And so we like to say all the time, that communication is our currency. Every leader has currency. Communication is your currency, and you get to choose what kind of currency you're going to use: healthy currency or unhealthy currency. And the problem is, many leaders, many of us who maybe we don't even consider ourselves leaders, but if you are a person of influence, if you have influence in someone's life, then you're a leader. We just dread public speaking. We just have a fear of it. And so because of that fear, or because we think, I don't do this very often, it doesn't matter if I invest in it. Well, the reality is it does, because the more that you invest in it, the more that you'll become more effective, and then you'll be able to use your communication in just a healthy way. I love this quote by Gerald Ford, former president. If I went back to college again, I'd concentrate on two areas: learning to write and to speak before an audience. Nothing in life is more important than the ability to communicate effectively. And that's just so true if you're, on FaceTime, if you're sending videos, if you're doing all those different kind of things. So at the heart of the public speaking pathway, is this idea that we want to communicate in a healthy way. And so if you haven't downloaded the pathway from the website, in the Speak with People community group, there was a post that I put in there today. All you have to do is download that, and you know what? I'll actually go right now, and I'll put it in the newest one where this video is being done. I think I just grabbed the wrong one. I'm so sorry about this. Let me grab the right one here. So you'll be able to have that. And so make sure you're able to get that, so you have the information that you need when it comes to the pathway. So the pathway is very important, and we're able to do that. So public speaking pathway, there are 8 steps to this pathway. It is really very simple at the end of the day. We wanted to create this in a simple format. It's just a step-by-step instruction guide. And really at the end of the day, this is for you to be able to become a healthy, effective, empathetic, and captivating communicator. And so there are 8 steps: assess and prioritize your health, present with people, not at them, deeply and genuinely care for your audience, study and prepare, embrace clarity, tell stories that matter, partner with laughter, and craft the entire experience. This whole pathway is about you becoming a healthy communicator at the end of the day. And so this is not just, I do one of these once and then it's over. No, this is a continual process. It's a rinse and repeat. And so step one, we'll start right there. Step one is this really important idea that we need to assess our health. And we need to make sure we prioritize our health. And I know that sounds interesting or maybe weird right off the bat, because what does that have to do? What does my health have to do with being able to be a communicator? But the reality is, at the end of the day, and I love what Carey Nieuwhof said. He said, when you do what you're best at, in the best conditions you can create, your work comes alive. And so do you. And so we need to make sure that we're as healthy as can be. The goal for this step is to approach every day with discipline in your key health focus areas: your emotional health, your spiritual health, your mental health, your physical health. Like those 5 health areas. The goal is to look at your life and go, okay, do I have discipline around each of these areas? And so it begins with an assessment to see how you're doing in those 5 areas. When you go through the cohort, we begin with week 1, and we begin with an assessment. And we kind of look at each of those areas, and we try to peer underneath the surface to be able to see if how you really are doing with your health. And so it really is an important step that we're able to do when we do that. And so we start with the first. There's a great book that was out a while ago, and it talked about, if you really want to help people, then you've got to understand that you've got to help yourself first. And so this is the idea for that one. And so based on the findings of the assessment, you will then know where you need to invest some time and energy. Maybe your emotional health is lacking. Maybe your mental health is lacking. And so we look at disciplines to be able to help in those areas. And the reality is, the healthier that you are, the healthier your communication will be. Like my grandmother said when I was a kid, garbage in, garbage out. If I just continually fill my mind and my heart and my body with garbage or destruction or negative things, that's just going to flow out of me. But if I'm working on my health and I'm filling my mind, I'm filling my body and my heart, my soul with healthy things, positive things, it's just incredible what happens. And so in this step, you learn to maximize those daily habits to be able to keep you healthy and filled. For my life, those daily habits look like stretching behind me over here in my closet. That's where I start my mornings. I have a whole stretching routine. I drink probably one of these of water, before 8 o'clock, right when I get up at 5-ish, 4:45, 5-ish, I'm drinking water, and then I stretch, and then I go for a walk. And I kind of rotate, the different mornings. Some mornings it's reading and then a walk, and some mornings it's a walk and then reading. But what are those healthy habits that keep you filled and alive? Because it's just vital to learn how to rest and recover so you will be at your best. And one of the things that we recommend you do here is recruit an accountability partner, somebody that will ask you the hard questions and will text you and, do all those kind of things. So the first step is to assess and make sure you prioritize your health. This is the important part of what we're doing in this section. And so step 2, if you're following along, you discover if you communicate with or at. This is, tremendously important. And there's actually a quiz on the website, speakwithpeople.com/pathway. And you can actually download this quiz and then you can ask those questions. But I'll go through some of them. I won't go through all of them. And if you missed the podcast 3 episodes ago, we did a series called the Speaking Pathway. And week 1, we actually go through this quiz and we ask some of those questions. But if you're someone who, you present at, you communicate at people, this is probably you haven't prioritized your own health. And so that's okay. I checked that one off. If I'm a at communicator, I'm consumed with myself, my outward appearances, likes, I want everybody to like me. Speaking with people, presenting with, leading with. If you're really going to emphasize the with, the empathy part of it, you can't be so concerned with yourself. You've got to be concerned with others. Another one of the at quiz, I allow worry to win. Every presentation, every opportunity to communicate, worry just fills my mind. Yeah, we're going to be nervous. Yeah, we're going to have fear, but worry is a different thing. Another one is my research and study is lacking. Another one is my prep time is weak and thrown together. Another one is I don't value clarity. I drown my people in information. I don't see laughter as a partner. These are characteristics of presenters, leaders. If you deliver presentations, if you speak in front of people, if you influence on a camera, these are characteristics of people who communicate at people. We want to communicate with people. And so that's why the step 2 is discover if you communicate with or at. And so the with is I assess and prioritize my health daily. I make sure that I am making sure that's a priority. I'm consumed with the needs of my audience. I'm thinking through. Even if you're walking into a team meeting and your boss asks you to do a short presentation, okay, I'm thinking through what teammates are going to be there. What do they need to hear? What are they thinking? What kind of background are they coming from? I step out of the way. Instead of letting worry win, I just get out of the way and I do the absolute best that I can. I dive deep into the research on the topic. In high school, we learned how to research things. We've never had more information at the type of our fingers than we do now. And so we research. My prep time is thorough for the time I have available. I wrestle, craft, and write big idea statements that everyone can remember. We talk about this in step 5 with clarity. We want people to leave when we speak with that one sentence, that repeatable, memorable, applicable sentence that people can just remember what we talked about. Laughter is my partner, another characteristic of someone who communicates with people. So I love this quote by Plato: a wise man speaks because he has something to say. A fool speaks because he has to say something. John Ford said, you can speak well if your tongue can deliver the message of your heart. This one is so much about your heart. Are you a with or an at communicator? And the goal is for you to continually evaluate whether you communicate with or at people. So the action step, take the quiz. Go to speakwithpeople.com/pathway. Use the one at the end of the PDF if you downloaded it from the website. And in this step, you'll discover what kind of communicator you are. There's kind of 4 basic types. There's a lot more, but 4 basic types. There's motivators, there's teachers, storytellers, and visionaries. Motivators are people who, you know what motivators do. They're coaches. They get the whole, team rallied. Visionaries, they can cast this compelling vision, a picture of the preferred future. A teacher just kind of takes you to a depth of information that you never thought was available. And then a storyteller takes you on a journey. Like they just take you along for the ride. And so in this step, especially when we go through the cohort, we help you find out, okay, I got a lot of visionary. I got a lot of storyteller. I got a little bit of motivator. I got a little bit of teacher. And so we help you tap into those gifts. So that's step number 2. Step number 3, deeply and genuinely care for your audience. Deeply and genuinely care for your audience. Absolutely huge. The whole premise, there are a million different public speaking courses out there. So many public speaking, courses, classes, cohorts, coaching. I believe the difference of Speak with People is that we have a high emphasis on the with. We want to communicate with people. We don't want to just communicate at them. We don't want to just dump information on them. And to do that, we've got to deeply and genuinely care for our audience. Deeply and genuinely care. Just so incredibly important. Maya Angelou, love this great quote. I've learned that people will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So incredibly important. Michael Port said, audience interaction should be proportional to the amount of trust you've earned. And one of the things that I love about the pathway is that this process helps you earn trust in time with your audience and with the people that you're communicating to. The goal for this step is to be a humble, wisely transparent, and deeply empathetic communicator. Like this is what we want to be able to do. We want to be able to let humility win. We want to go from being myself-focused to others-focused, from being speaker-focused to audience-focused, from being me, myself, and I focused to being you-focused. How can I help you? What would help you the most? This is why this is so important. And so when you focus on them, you focus on your audience, you deeply and genuinely care for them. And so in this step, we teach you how to become the expert of your team or your audience or whoever you're communicating to. You discover to ask the right questions so you can really peer underneath the surface of who you're speaking with, and so you can understand them and their needs. And then when you can, you're able to honor your audience by, learning everything that you can about them, learning their names, picking up information about them. And then lastly, like really presenting something that they need. Even if you're selling something, even if you are, presenting an update on a project, I mean, every opportunity you get to communicate in front of people is a gift. It is a gift. And we want to be able to do that. We want to be able to go, you know what? This is a gift and I want to speak with people. And so I may just be giving the numbers from an after action report, but I still get to speak with people. So I want to be able to communicate with them. And so that's step number 3. And then step number 4. Step number 4, study and prepare. This is just an absolutely huge one. I love this by the great Dale Carnegie. Only the prepared speaker deserves to be confident. I'm going to tell you this right now is so incredibly important. If you get nervous while you're in front of people, if you get nervous, it's totally natural. It is okay to get nervous. It's okay to be nervous. But the reality is you are able to get less nervous with the more study and preparation. Because the more that you study, the more that you probably can't, let me see if I go to my bigger shot here. I got piles of books everywhere. Here's why I have a pile of books. I'll just be honest. I wasn't someone that was just blessed with this insanely brilliant mind. I have to work very, 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 very hard to understand something. So I'm always reading. I'm always listening to podcasts. I'm always trying to dive deep into whatever I can do. And so the same thing with this step. Study and prepare in the way that works best for you. The goal in this step is to become a ferocious reader, ferocious studier, researcher with the time that you have available. You know, one of the really powerful things that our iPhones do is on Sundays, it sends me a report of how much time that I spent on my phone. That's scary, isn't it? That's scary. And so what if my Apple iPhone, I bet it would, because if I read books on my phone, it probably could tell me, but I don't like to read books on my phone. I like to pick up the actual hard copy book and read from that. But whatever time you have available, set it aside and do some reading. You know, for me right now, I basically have 3 different piles of books. This first pile over here is stuff that is most important to me right now. I got to read this one because this guy, Lane Sebring, is going to be a guest on our podcast. So I want to know what he's all about. I'm reading this book because Trey Van Camp is going to be a guest on our podcast. I'm reading this book because David Dennis is going to be a guest on our podcast. I'm reading this book, How to Grow a Small Business, because I'm trying to speak with people. I'm reading this book, 16 Undeniable Laws of Communication, because I love communication and I want to learn from the great John Maxwell. And then my second pile of book is my research book, my research pile. And so this is the books that I'm researching for the book I'm writing, Speak with People, Not at Them. And then I got a pile of books behind me. That is my go-to, like, these books have like drastically changed my life. Primal Leadership, Business Made Simple, Hero on a Mission, Marketing Made Simple, all of those kind of books. So find the way for you that helps you grow best. If it's, downloading an ebook, if it's on your Kindle, if it's reading a book, if it's listening to a podcast, if it's taking a free course, there are free courses everywhere. So do everything that you can. So important to learn what study methods will help you increase your content options and then organize your research and your quotes and your notes. And so one of the things that we do in this step in the cohort in week 4 is we kind of show you some tools and how to organize your Google Drive. I'm a huge Google Drive nut. How to organize your Google Drive to be able to do all of that kind of stuff. So we want to help you become a student of your content and preparation habits. So just boost your confidence. Boost your confidence so you'll be able to do that. Okay, I just saw Dennis's comment in the group. Well, thank you, Dennis. I appreciate that very much. So that's what I wanted to accomplish today with this webinar. I wanted to kind of give you the overview of what does this public speaking pathway look like. This is a guide to becoming a healthy, effective, empathetic, and captivating communicator. If you walk in these steps enough, step 1, step 2, step 3, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. The first 4 steps are all about your internal health as a leader and the kind of healthy communicator that you will be. The second 4 steps are about how to be a healthy communicator who presents healthy information, life-changing information. And that's why the center of this says laughter, listening, learning, and then decisions in the middle. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, when you get your audience laughing, you get them listening, you get them learning from you, they're going to make decisions. And at Speak With People, we like to say that's when they'll lean in and they'll really listen to you. So this first 4, I know this was just like, we went just barely skimmed the surface, but this is why this webinar exists. It's a free level 1, give you the overview of everything that the public speaking pathway has to offer. So we're going to do this next Tuesday as well. We'll hit the second 4 questions, the second 4 steps in the process. So we're able to do that. And then there is information, I'm going to put it in the group right now, for the Lunch and Learn cohort that will begin on Tuesday, May 2nd. Tuesday, May 2nd, we will be able to dive in deep under the surface. So step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Every week is a step, and you're given an online portal that goes in. There'll be PDFs, a workbook, there'll be training videos. I've put together an online resource library. So each week has an online resource library for different podcasts and TED Talks and ebooks and different books that you can learn about your health and then about, deeply and genuinely caring for people. And so every week is filmed. We film it and then we put it in the thing. So if you miss it, you're okay. But we'll join online. So I left a little bit of time here at the end for questions. We've got a few comments from some amazing, amazing folks. Oh my goodness. And we got John Ruggles watching while he's in the air in Kansas City. Just absolutely, absolutely amazing. Here's the reality at the end of the day. Every single leader has the opportunity to be a healthy communicator. You can choose if you're going to communicate in a way that draws people in, takes them on a journey, speaks with them. Or you can choose to communicate in a forceful, aggressive way where you drown them information and you force them to come along with you. I just think speaking with people is the healthy way to go. And so this public speaking pathway will help you. If you have not downloaded it yet, go to the community group, and in the latest post, I'll put the link so you can go download the robust PDF with all of the information, and you'll be able to do that. Okay. Well, I can't thank you enough for being a part of today's online webinar. We're going to put this in the information, and then you can tell people to join us next week. And thank you for looking at the information that we're putting out about the cohort. Alrighty. Well, thanks again. And we will talk to you next Tuesday, same time, same location. See ya.